Sorry. I've had my head in the clouds. Literally. Our mountain has been surrounded by a cloud all day. It's fantastic. It's like no one else exists. And after reading a couple of days' worth of news, I wish nobody else did exist. So, we were first informed that COVID-19 was caught by droplets. Spit, snot, anything that sort of projects out of another person's body, and it could live on various surfaces up to 3 or 4 or 5 days, which was quite surprising. But now, 213 scientists from 61 countries have gotten enough evidence to show that it is airborne. So, it says, when we have been talking about the possibility of airborne transmission and aerosol transmission as one of the modes of COVID-19. It begins to become especially significant because of crowds, closed and poorly ventilated settings, and other such places. Yeah, you know what? I watch a lot of horror movies. When things become airborne, that's usually when it turns to shite. So, it looks like the WHO is going to release some further information. I know I'm all glary, it's because it's all white outside. And I have to have some light on in here, otherwise I just like a vampire. I even had to put a backdrop in here because black. I mean, good. I was waiting for some garlics and someone tried to stake me through the heart. So WHO is going to have to come up with a way of dealing with airborne COVID-19. That's going to be fun. And masks. Masks are coming in and out of conversation around the world, particularly with us at the moment because of Victoria. Okay, 286 people yesterday, 181 today, and if anybody thinks that that is an improvement, you're a dickhead. Should we wear masks? Yes. Okay, it will not hurt to wear a mask. Either you've got the disease, then the less chance of you aerosoling it out of your big fat mouth or your snotty nose, those chances go down. And if you're a person who is immunocompromised or actually just gives a shit about not getting COVID-19, that you don't want to catch somebody else's aerosonic transmissions, you cover up. I saw a great picture. 2 men wearing jeans. Then one wet himself, so he's got wet jeans. And then there was a picture of 2 men, one in a pair of jeans and one not. The one who'd done the wee had got some splash up on the guy who had his jeans on. Then both sets of men, no jeans. The guy takes a leak and the other one gets pissed over. Bloody good analogy. I bet a man came up with that. So no, look, we don't have to wear face masks in public. I do. I have a new one. I have a new couple. I get funny looks. Do I look like I care? If you cannot be socially distant, if you're going to go and stand in lines of hundreds of other idiots for some cheap booze, you're supposed to be. But actually, if your decision-making level is that poor, I would encourage you not to. You know, one of the things about wearing masks is that they think it will make the rest of the hygiene practices we have to participate in not as big a deal. Washing your hands, being socially distant, no kissing or touching family members. They think if we wear a mask, it's like a piece of armour and we'll forget to do the other things. We'll become complacent. But yeah, wear a mask. Why not? You're not that special. Some more masks. Yep, and because they worry that people forget social distancing, yep, already got that. Oh, yeah, the pub at Sydney's Northwest had to be closed because 2 patrons, not known to one another, both COVID-19s. But Brad Hazard said, I suspect that particular hotel is quite a popular one, and I understand it would have been pretty full. Well, given the pictures I've seen of people gathering and socialising, pretty full. It reminds me of that moment just before I give birth. That's pretty full, Brad. Down in Victoria, because of the lockdown. 16 fines to people gathered at a birthday party, and then another 4 gathered in a home being used for sex work. Well, some business does go on. 2 people who'd done a KFC runner, ordering food for 20. They got the rego plate, so they knew the address. They went there, they found 4 asleep and 16 hiding. Wonder what they did with all the KFC. Hope they took it back to the station. My parents had taken my brother out. They'd gone to return some videos and they were bringing home KFC. And we love KFC in our family. There's no, one piece of chicken and a small chips to anybody, believe me. And they had a serious car accident. And they had $40 worth of KFC. I always wondered, I bet those towies bloody ate it. A woman in her 20s has become Canberra's 5th confirmed COVID-19. More mask bullshit. The updated advice based on studies show that wearing face masks can reduce transmission of coronavirus by 60%. Even when taking into account that not everyone will wear them correctly. I have been seeing them worn some very strange ways. Oh, and I love it, the people who cut out a mouth hole so they can breathe and talk through the mask. So Victoria, Professor Sutton saying, the increased hospitalisations they're seeing and the ICUs are getting worse than they're expecting it to be, because these are people who can't fight infection. The old, the sick, the lame. Everyone who basically needs to be taken out the back and shot. And he's trying to work to control this. Best of luck. Scotty, after National Cabinet, says inbound flights to Australia will be cut by half. And all mandatory quarantine will be paid for by said traveller. About bloody time. And then the picture that picture I put up the other day of all those young people lining up to get into the Golden Sheaf. And I said, people have just become complacent. Complacency is a killer, said the New South Wales Health Minister. Not that I'm comparing myself to Brad, because I'm more clever than he is, as for a start. But one final thing, obviously there are issues around this pub. And what I would say, particularly younger people, complacency is a killer. It may not be for you. It may not be, for example, your granny or your pop, or for heaven's sake, get real. Social distancing is just being cautious around other people, and it's critical. So he didn't like the picture either. Oh, the United States. They love to be world leaders. They broke a new record, 60,565 new confirmed cases. And the virus, ooh, that's better. I thought it was a bit higher. Why didn't you tell me? And the death rates have climbed more than 800 for the third day in a row. It's the highest level seen since early June. Florida recorded an increase of 120 deaths. California, Florida and Texas breaking all records for the amount of infections and deaths. Even Alabama, Montana, Wisconsin regarding their biggest one-day rise cases, all of them. Infections are increasing in 41 out of 50 states. I bet it's not increasing very much in Alaska. Yeah, Dr. Teddy from WHO, he just wants people to help. In Serbia, was it Serbia? Dickheads go to play tennis. Serbia bans gatherings in capitals after protests against restrictions. Yeah, I don't want to be restricted, so I'm going to go out and not be restricted until I get put in jail, and then I will be restricted. So they're pissed off at all the restrictions, apart from the fact, the virus and people dying. Record new cases in Indonesia after an outbreak at a military training camp. Hong Kong reacts to a surge in new infections, as if that place wasn't already crowded enough, and there was also zero social distancing going on. They're sparking fears of new wave of coronavirus. And then Trump tweeted on Monday, "We have the lowest fatality rate in the world. Just about the lowest in the world." And on Tuesday, he said, "We have the lowest mortality rate in the world. The fake news should be reporting these important facts, but they don't." Okay, so bullshit fact check. It's false, and it doesn't accurately represent the current state of the epidemic in America. It has the 9th worst mortality rate in the whole world. So we'll do some more America later. I've got work to do. That's it. Anyway, I better get going. I can hear people coming in. Stay home. Wash your hands. Be nice to people. Okay, you don't have to be nice to people. Just the ones you live with.